The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 20, Why You Can't Lose Weight on a Diet. Hello and welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, the FAT Release Coach, and this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond what you think is the issue, which is diet and exercise, and actually go to what is the real issue, your mindset. You see, mindset is 90% of the solution if you crave permanent success with your weight, meaning that you would love to leave all of your food and weight struggles behind you. Your binge eating, emotional eating, stuffing yourself at night, food obsessions, beating yourself up mentally and emotionally, sabotaging yourself, perfectionism, self-criticism, overeating, being overweight, anything and everything that is contributing to your excess physical fat and the state of your body. If you seriously desire to leave all of that struggle behind you, then the way to do that, the only way to do that, is to heal the root of these symptoms you're living with, and that takes dealing with, releasing, solving 90% of your problem today. That's your mindset, that's your inner self, and once you do that, then what is only 10% of the problem or the solution, which is diet and exercise, that will become extremely easy for you. Now, how could this be so? Why is this a fact? Well, it's just how it is. You see, not only is everything energy, but also your body is ruled by your mind. I mean, here's a really simple way of looking at it. How many healthy diet and exercise programs are out there on the market right now? How easy would it be for any person to go to the public library, pick up a healthy eating and exercise plan, and have all of that information right in front of them? Since that is so easy to do, and since there is such a proliferation of healthy eating and exercise information on the market, then why is anyone overweight? What's the problem? Why doesn't everyone just do it? Why is it that 95% of dieters fail? Well, it's very simple, and yet when you're living in the struggle, it's extremely complicated because 99.9% of people cannot solve this problem on their own, and that's just because you're so deeply in it. It's that old saying, you can't see the forest through the trees. Well, that's how it is when you're living in the struggle that you've been in for most of your life with food and your weight. And the reason that 95% of dieters fail, the reason that people who are overweight just don't do it, why they don't just live the healthy and fit lifestyle, why don't they get off of all processed foods, why don't they eat only when they're hungry and stop when they're full, why don't they get regular exercise? Well, the reason is because they and you do not have a weight loss mindset. You've got to have a match on the inside to what you want on the outside. This is one of the universal laws that all of us live under, and that is that the inner and the outer always match. And the issues and the challenges that you're struggling with your overeating, your overweight, your self-sabotage, your binge eating, stuffing yourself at night, all these challenges and these negative behaviors, these are only symptoms of what you've got on the inside. Because when you don't believe that you deserve to have a fantastic, healthy, fit body, when you believe it's too hard to do it, when you believe that only those people, only a few select people can have it, and when you have all of these limiting blocks, I could go on and on and on with what might be limiting you, but I actually don't know what those things are unless I actually work with you as a permanent weight loss coaching client like I work with my clients. So I would only be making guesses right now, since this is simply an episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. However, guaranteed, I 100% guarantee this to you, that if you know how to eat healthy and how to exercise and you're still struggling with your weight, it's because you don't have the match on the inside to what you want on the outside. Once you do that, once you heal the 90% of the problem, and you've got to have tools also to maintain that. It's just like working out. Let's say that you wanted to have six-pack abs. You've got to do certain exercises to get those six-pack abs, all right? Well, it's the same thing with a weight loss mindset. Once you get that mindset, you also have to have real-world tools which will enable you to maintain that mindset. Because as long as you feed your mind before you feed your body, you will continue to be struggle-free with your weight and with food and with exercise and with the things that you know you need to do if you want to have the healthy, fit body that you've been telling yourself and telling others that you want to have. The solution is a weight loss mindset. And let me share this with you before we go on to today's topic. It's really important to understand that surface positive thinking is not enough. That's like if you were to sprinkle, let's say you were going to sprinkle some raindrops on top of your roof, and your roof is protecting your house, so of course the rain's not going to come through and get you wet when you're in your house and it's storming outside. That's a good thing. However, it's the same thing with attempting to sprinkle positive thinking, positive thoughts, affirmations on top of the roof of your limiting beliefs that are holding you stuck right now in the diet mentality and in the overweight behaviors that you've been living with for most of your life. And you've got to be able to break through that roof and that roadblock that you have erected, which you're not even aware of how that got there. And how to release it, because if you could do that, you would have done it years ago, right? I mean, why would you hold yourself in struggle if you didn't have to? So that's just really important to understand, that surface positive thinking is not enough to create a weight loss mindset. You've got to have a proven step-by-step system that will get to the root of what has been stopping you from just living healthy and fit without struggle. And then once that is healed, then you're not going to have any problem with the 10%, which is diet and exercise. So let's take a look at today's topic, which is why you can't lose weight on a diet. All right, now I've already given you a massive lead-in into this topic, but let's go over a few points, because you know, if you're like most people, you've been trying to bang it out with diets and, of course, exercise programs also for most of your life. And the reason, by the way, that I keep saying most of your life is because where these problems start are in childhood. That's where most of your problems ever began. And almost all of this has to do with how you think and how you believe, or the things that you believe, and all of the limits that you've placed on yourself. The only one who has ever been standing in the way of you having the body that you say that you'd like to have, that healthy, fit body, the only one in the way of that is you. And I understand how frustrating that feels to even know that when you don't know how to break out of it. But let's go over these details of why you can't lose weight on a diet. And number one, a very simple reason why you can't lose weight on a diet is if you're not actually following a healthy and sane eating plan. All right? Let's face it, there are, I don't know how many, are there millions of diets out there on the market? Hundreds of thousands at minimum. Maybe there are millions. I have never actually figured all of them up, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are millions. I mean, there's everything from the Asian diet, the rice diet, the cabbage soup diet, the grapefruit diet, the only drink Diet Coke diet, the starve yourself diet, the eat a cracker whenever you feel hungry diet, the let's work out 5 hours per day and don't eat anything diet. I mean, these are, even when I say them, they sound so silly, but you might have done them before. And if you have, it's not something to beat yourself up about. I mean, there are millions of people out there who have done these crazy, silly types of unhealthy diets, and the reason that you've done them is because you've been so desperate to lose weight, because it feels bad being overweight and just feeling fat. I mean, it's understandable why you would spend money and go for these wild claims of fast fat loss and fast weight loss, losing weight in your sleep, these diet pills. There's that sprinkle diet that is supposed to make you lose weight by eating less, when in actuality, if you research it, you'll find that the ingredients are MSG, and what that is a taste enhancer, and it alters how your brain, how it is seeing and viewing the food that you're putting into your body. And if you eat enough of that, then you actually it's actually quite damaging for your body and your brain. I highly recommend a book about that if you'd like to learn more. It's called Excitotoxins. I believe that the doctor's name is Dr. Richard Blaylock. I'm pretty sure. But if you just Google or go to Amazon, Excitotoxins, there's only one book with that name, I'm quite certain. And you're going to learn a lot more about that. But anything you can do to limit MSG in your diet, I would recommend it, but I'm not a doctor, and you can do your own research and find out a lot more about that. But that sprinkle diet, that's really what that is, and it's a way to change your how you're tasting the food and make it actually taste bad so that you don't eat as much. Well, how exciting is it for you to eat food that doesn't taste good, especially if you are an emotional eater? So that solution, quote-unquote solution, will not do anything at all to change your beliefs, to change your thoughts, to change your self-esteem, to change your level of self-worth, to change the images in your mind that continue to drive you to overeat. It will not do anything to change any of that. And then when you're eating icky tasting food, I mean, how long would you really stick with doing that to yourself? Because, you know, I understand what it's like. I've been there before, where it's almost like food is your best friend, and if that's all you've got going in your life, if that's what you feel right now, if that's your excitement, then you know, these silly, crazy diets, they're not going to help you solve those problems that are what are driving you to overeat in the first place. So number one, the reason why you can't lose weight on a diet is if you're not actually following a healthy, sane eating plan. But now, what if you actually are following a healthy, sane, makes sense eating plan, a lifestyle plan? Let's say that you've got an outline of how to live a healthy lifestyle, and it's just regular food, you know, just plain healthy food. getting off the processed food ingredients, getting off of that MSG, the added sugars, the taste enhancers, all of that, the additives and the preservatives that make food stay on the shelf and have a shelf life of how many months, how many years, getting away from all of those processed ingredients, or let's say even 98% of them. If you're doing that, you're doing pretty darn good. And let's say that you've got this very healthy eating plan in front of you, and it teaches you how to cook, how to eat healthy, how to change your portion sizes, and that it's important to be eating only when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. But now, the number 2 point of why you can't lose weight on a diet is even if you've got that healthy eating plan and you're not actually doing it, then you still can't lose weight. And why would that be? Why would that be that you would have this awesome, healthy, sane way of eating right in front of you, or even if you were to simply eat only when physically hungry and stop when physically full? If you were to just do that, that'd be almost anything. It would be almost a full solution for you. Not quite, because you still need to. It does help to be eating healthy foods. For example, let's say that you ate only when you're hungry and stopped when you were totally full, but let's say that your entire diet consisted of donuts, all right? So that probably wouldn't be the very, giving you the most energy in your life. It probably wouldn't be the best way to go. So even that solution is not a full solution. But back to the topic here. You've got this healthy eating plan right in front of you, and you're not actually doing it. So that's another reason why you can't lose weight on a diet, because if you are sabotaging yourself and you're not following these steps of this healthy eating plan, then of course you're not going to lose weight on that diet. All right? Okay, so now let's look at another reason why you can't lose weight on a diet. So the question is, why wouldn't you actually just be following that super healthy eating plan? Well, it's because you don't have the mindset for it. You're not in alignment with the results that you could achieve from that healthy diet. And since you're not in alignment on the inside with the results that you could have on the outside if only you would follow that eating plan, then what you will do is you will stop yourself. You will sabotage yourself. You have to do that. And it's not even that you're doing anything wrong. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're stupid. You're more than likely you are a very intelligent person because you're listening to me on this show right now. And I only attract very, very smart people. All right? So it's not that you're not smart. It's not that you don't know how to eat healthy. It's not that you don't know how to exercise, but you're not doing it. And you can't do it. You must stop yourself because you are not a match on the inside to what you want to be and have on the outside. So that is the number one reason why you can't lose weight on a diet. And in fact, that would be why you would look for an unhealthy gimmick type of diet. It would also be why you would not follow a super healthy, makes sense kind of lifestyle plan. And again, this is not something to beat yourself up about. You don't have a way out because of a way you could look at it as inner programming. The inner programming that you have right now, that programming is set up to give you the output of self-sabotage, overeating, straying from your healthy diet, looking for silly, crazy, quick fix diets like so many people do. Your inner programming is giving you all of those results, and your procrastination, telling yourself that you'll suddenly change on Monday, but Monday never comes. I mean, it does come, but you don't change because nothing has truly changed on the inside. You're continuing to try to make these big changes in your life by only attending to the 10% of the solution, which is the physical action, which is the new diet, the new exercise plan, and none of that matters. None of it matters if you don't have the 90% in place. And in fact, I could be doing a show right now about why you can't make $1 million. It's exactly the same thing of why you can't lose weight. If you don't have the inner self, the inner match on the inside to whatever result it is that you want on the outside, you could take classes for the rest of your life on how to make $1 million, or on how to lose weight, or on how to have the best relationship of your life, or on how to buy a house. Okay, it could be anything, but how to do those things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the steps are to make that million. It doesn't matter what the steps are to lose weight in a healthy way when you don't have the 90% of the solution in place first. When you do that first, when you get the mindset, when you get all of the things on the inside matched up, the beliefs, your thoughts, there are images that go along with this. There are so many things that you're unaware of that are on the inside of you that are continuing to play out moment after moment, day after day, behind the scenes. It's almost like you have this inner programming that's playing behind the scenes of the curtain within yourself, and you can't see beyond that curtain. You don't even know what's there, and you're beating your head against the wall, buying the diets, the exercise equipment, getting new workout clothes, going to personal trainers, getting the gym memberships, and none of it's working because you're not able to get beyond that curtain and see what's really stopping you and then change it. Even if you could get behind the curtain, though, and you could see what's going on there, you'd still have to actually make the changes, and most people can't do that on their own. That's why any high achiever, they always have a coach. It's exactly the same thing with Olympic athletes. Olympic athletes do not get to where they are by themselves. They do not train themselves. They have physical coaches, yes, but they also always have mindset coaches because that is where most of the game is. It doesn't matter how good you are, what your skills are. Skills are the 10%. Inner self, mindset is 90% of the game of losing weight or anything else that you want to do in your life. All right. So, let's take a quick commercial break, and today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is fearlessfatloss.com. And I invite you to go over to fearlessfatloss.com now, and what you can do while you're there is go ahead and grab my free gift that I have for you. The only thing you have to do is to enter your first name and your email address in the boxes that you will see. Click the button that says give it to me now or submit, whatever you see there, and sometimes I change what's on that button, but you're a smart person, you'll be able to figure it out. You'll see the form, so just enter your first name, your email address, and you'll get my free gift. And then what that will help you do is learn even more about a weight loss mindset and what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good, and why, all these diets and the exercise DVDs, all these things that you've done, why you're still struggling with food and your weight. It's going to help you understand why you really, really, really need a weight loss mindset, and if you don't already understand that from today's show. So you'll just get some more information on that, and also I will share with you in that gift what your next step is if you really are serious about getting this problem taken care of once and for all, putting all that struggle behind you, which you really could do that. You just need to have the right system, the right proven system that has proven steps that you just have to follow and do, and then you'll release that struggle and get the weight loss mindset. And you know, the whole diet and exercise thing, it will just be the least of your concerns. It'll be, you'll actually become one of those people, quote unquote, those people who love to work out, not in an obsessive way, but, you know, actually enjoy it. And, you know, enjoy eating healthy. And at the same time, if you want to have a cookie once in a while, you make that decision because it feels good to you and you have a cookie. But if you don't want a cookie, if that would feel bad, you don't have a cookie. Either way, there's no stress, there's no worry, and those are some of the results that you get once you actually get a weight loss mindset and release that internal struggle, which is 90% of your problem today with losing weight, dropping the fat, and keeping it off. And you can do that. You can grab that free gift at fearlessfatloss.com. All right, so on each of these shows, I give you questions that you can ask yourself, and the purpose of this is so that you can gain more clarity on where you're at and then make a decision about what are you going to do now. Obviously, in such a short podcast, these shows are always my goal is to make them no more than 20 to 30 minutes. And in order to actually heal this problem that you've got so that you can put all of that struggle behind you, you really need to be working with a highly skilled mentor and coach who will help you get to the bottom of it and release that struggle once and for all. That's not something that's going to happen in a iTunes podcast, because this is something that there has to be actual real communication. You also have to be committed to yourself, and you've got to be serious about giving yourself the gift of feeling absolutely fantastic in your own skin and releasing all of that struggle. So I have some questions that you can ask yourself to help you gain more clarity, and I suggest that you write these down, pen on paper. If you do this on a keyboard, you'll completely miss out on the connection that occurs between your head, your hand, and your heart. So the first question is to ask yourself, exactly how many diets have I done throughout my lifetime? And you're asking yourself this. Exactly how many diets have I done during my lifetime? And list all of those names. Write every single one down. So you're going to have to take a few minutes to do this. Maybe it'll take you 10 minutes, but list all of the names, and then when you think that you can't remember the rest, find more. Just give yourself the time to remember all of them. And if you feel stuck, then just put your pen in your non-dominant hand and let that hand write, and you'll come up with the rest of the names. So you can also include exercise programs, gym memberships, boot camps, anything and everything that you've done in an effort to solve this problem alone. And then the next question to ask yourself, what are the specific results that I've gotten from all of these diets and or exercise programs? What are the lasting and specific results I've gotten? So if you have actually released all struggle and it's easy for you to live healthy and fit, then that would be a massive result. If that were the case, though, why would you be listening to me right now? You wouldn't be, would you? So list all the results you've gotten from all of those things you've done. And more than likely you have lost weight. However, you've done it over and over and over again because you always have gained it back. So it's not a problem. It's not that you don't know how to lose weight. That's not the issue. But just write down all the results you've gotten. More than likely, one of the results you've gotten is you've increased your frustration and probably even increased your negative thoughts and your negative beliefs that you can ever succeed permanently. And so these are obviously negative results. But then, list all of the results. If you've ever gotten positive results, maybe there were times where you actually felt good about yourself, but the problem is it didn't last. And then the next question to ask yourself is your healthy lifestyle 100% struggle-free for you? And that means that you're actually living a healthy lifestyle. If you're not living a healthy lifestyle, then, what is it you're doing? Are you still obsessing about food, about your weight, about the scale, binge eating, emotional eating, feeling addicted to sugar, all these things? So write all that down. And then the last question to ask yourself, if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, what results will I have 1 year from now? If I keep doing what I'm doing right now, what results will I have 1 year from now? And this will be very easy for you to answer because all you have to do is look at the results that you've gotten from doing what you're doing now. And this is where Einstein's definition of insanity will help you out a lot. And that is, Einstein's definition of insanity is continuing to do the same things over and over and over again while expecting a different result. And yes, I know it sounds crazy, and I'm sure that you looking at the answers that you're writing down on your paper will probably look crazy to you, and you'll feel really frustrated. But by doing this for yourself and getting it on paper, it's going to give you clarity and help you decide how much longer do you want to keep struggling. Do you need to struggle for another year before you feel that you're worth getting help and putting all of this behind you? Do you need to struggle another 5 years? What is the answer for you? Now, I believe you deserve to end all of this struggle now. And that's exactly what I do with my clients. I help exceptional women and also some cool men to achieve struggle-free permanent weight loss by walking them through all of the steps of my step-by-step proven system to struggle-free permanent weight loss, and that is the Inner Self Diet. And when you grab my free gift at fearlessfatloss.com, you'll also learn more about what your next step would be if you are serious about putting all of the struggle behind you. And so I believe that you deserve to do this now, but of course you have to make your own decisions. And answering these questions for yourself will help you really get clear on where you're at and what you've been doing to yourself. And I can tell you that you do not have to stay there, that you really can break free of these struggles, and you really, really can get out of that hamster wheel of the endless diets and the ups and downs with your weights, and you really can end the struggle. Okay, so I want to let you know that on some of these weeks what I do is I give a shout out to the new folks who have liked our Facebook page, and the way that you can get a shout out is to go to the JoLynn Braley Show.com, click like on our Facebook page, and I will give you a shout out on an upcoming show. And the way you spell my name, if you're looking at this on iTunes, if you're listening on iTunes, you can see how my name is spelled. Otherwise, my name is spelled JoLynn Braley, Braley. And those are all, put all those letters together, theJoLynnBraleyShow.com. Just click like on the page and you'll get a shout out from me. It's a lot of fun, and it's a way to say thanks for being here. And, it's fun to do. So it's all good. Okay, so what you learned today. You learned why you can't lose weight on a diet. And actually, you know what? I didn't share this with you, but the folks that I work with, most of them don't even follow any specific structured eating plan. There are a few that do. For example, I have had some clients who really like Weight Watchers. But when you've got the weight loss mindset, it's easy to do the steps of Weight Watchers. Otherwise, if you just sign up for Weight Watchers and you don't do the things that they give you to do, then of course what kind of results are you going to get? But most of the folks I work with, they don't follow a specific structured eating plan. They live a healthy lifestyle, and the reason why you can't lose weight on a diet is because, first of all, if you're not following a healthy and sane one, then you're not going to. It's not going to work. If you do have a healthy eating plan right in front of you, but you're not doing it, that's not going to work. That's why you can't lose weight on a diet also. And the main reason is because you don't have the mindset for it. You're not in alignment on the inside with the results that you'd love to have on the outside. And therefore, you will always continue to sabotage yourself. You can't stop yourself from doing that because it's just the programming that you've got on the inside. So you learned all of those things today. You also learned some key questions that would be extremely helpful to ask yourself, to write those down, and also write down the answers. You also learned that you can grab a free gift from me by going to fearlessfatloss.com. And if you're subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give this show a 5-star rating, and also do be sure to go on over to the JoLynn Braley Show.com and like our Facebook page, and you'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show. So I expect that today you had at the very least a paradigm shift, and that you now know that a diet is not the way to get permanent weight loss. Diet and exercise is only 10% of the problem or the solution. Your mindset is 90% of the game. So, this is JoLynn Braley, the FAT Release Coach, and you've been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. Be sure and grab my free gift over at fearlessfatloss.com. Just enter your first name, your email address, click the submit button, you'll be on your way. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.